Okay. Okay, I know a few of you guys have recommended putting a hardwood floor in this truck, but I'm kind of old school. I kind of really dig the factory carpet look. Aluminum floors are cool too, but this is a working truck. And I think there's nothing more impressive than you look in the truck and you get a nice clean carpet in there and keep it clean. So, like I said, I sent this to the upholstery guys. They tried a little bit. I think they just gave up because they're like, this is never gonna work. So, got a little tip for you. If you are doing this and you got cigarette burns, I hate when people smoke in vehicles, but if you got cigarette burns like that one, look how bad that looks. What I do is I take my little cleaner here, I soak this down really good, give it a few, and the wire brush is key. Brush it a bit with the wire brush, soak up some of the stuff, wet it again. Then you take this end on the wire brush and just use it and scratch it in there and rough up. You know, this carpet's so far gone, it doesn't really matter. You're not gonna hurt this carpet. Anything you do to it is gonna make it better, but just rough that up. And then just keep doing that and cleaning it and rubbing it and cleaning it. There was a lot of cigarette burns in this carpet and you can hardly tell now. Here's one I've been kind of working on. It was about this long, this wide. It's starting to go away, and I think the more you clean it, the more you kind of rough it up, it'll keep coming back to life. I'm getting a lot of the stains out. Some of these heavily soiled areas, I'm gonna work a little bit harder to get this part, but this part doesn't really matter. It's under the dash, you never see it. This side I've been working on. Got a lot of it. There was a big stuck in stain here. You can hardly see it. There's a few more pieces left on here. It's hard to see on camera, but it's really chunky. That will come out. There's a big stain here. It's coming out. So I think at the end of the day, this is gonna turn out pretty dang nice for what it was before. So a little bit of soil here. This was kind of, there's a soiled spot here that was kind of dark. I'm getting most of it. And then there's a strip here and a little bit here and a few burns. But other than that, I think she'll clean up just nice. She's starting to look red again. What do you think, Todd?
I think don't be so hasty to throw out your old carpet, because a little bit of elbow grease, she'll come up nice.
And then I don't like the way this is all puffed out, but I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna end up cutting around here. It's gonna have a floor mat over it anyways. We're gonna peel it up. We're gonna put a bunch of adhesive in and try to glue it back down. I think it'll work out just fine. So while I've been working on the carpet, Todd's been over here, got this airline bracket reinstalled back onto the cab. He's working on this distribution valve. It bolts up underneath there. So in our haste, we kind of just cut some stuff off. So there's a few studs broken off or whatever that he's got to get out of the hole, so that can go back in. I got one of the airline lines in. Got the other one's kind of rusty, so we're just going to scuff it quick, paint it up, mount it in. It's the one with the evaporator dryer. And then we can kind of go over and start cleaning some of the firewall stuff off, getting some of the wires routed the way they need to be. Got the steering shaft hooked up today. And then got the air brake valve completely done on its new mount, all painted up, and the throttle in place. I think it looks pretty classy. One of the things we should do is scuff this down and either paint it black or silver. Probably silver. The other one's silver. It looks pretty nice. One job we definitely have to do is I'm going to go through and replace every one of these air sensors or air switches or low air warning buzzers and brake light switch and all that stuff. Put a new one in. This truck has been sitting. There's what, 4 there and 2 here. Those will probably be the first things that quit on you when you start going down the road. But all in all, things coming along real nice. Any words of wisdom?
No.
Oh, that's a first. Well, we just had ourselves a little brain revelation here. We're thinking, oh, we'll cut this and we'll glue it back down, blah, blah, blah. It's just red carpet under there. Hasta la vista, see you later. Here, hold that.
Here, hold that.
Yeah. Why would you do anything else? I get why they put this in place, but we don't need that anymore. Look at that, that's beautiful. So I'm gonna keep working on this and get back to you when I get it all trimmed off here. But it's good going. She gone. So this is the main gauge panel out of the Burgundy truck. Decided to go with it. We might have to swap a few gauges, but got it out. I'm just spraying some simple green on it now. Just get all this crud cleaned up. And while I was doing that, I pulled the wiper motor out and the wiper mechanism out because we have one bad rocker arm on the cab, which I didn't realize. It's not this side, it's that side, but you can see the nuts busted off of it. But I think it'll be okay. So we'll get these cleaned up. We'll get the other dash panel out. I've been labeling all the wires in the dashes so I know what goes where. And then we'll probably get that wiper dealt with. And then we'll start slapping some of this stuff back in. All right, so got the main dash panel out on the painted cab, and I am so happy at what I see. It's hard to see on camera, but this definitely hasn't been messed with too much, where the other truck is spaghetti of added wires and fuses and relays. So this thing's pretty unmolested, which is good. There's the odd little wire here and there, but I'll be able to straighten those out. But very happy. I got, for the most part, everything labeled. I should be able to get the other one back in. Okay, Todd was working on some of the, getting this AC evaporator out. You cannot even make this stuff up. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this box must have been squeaking on this line. So somebody had the bright idea. See if I can pull that out of there. Let's stuff a book of matches in there. Did you say this thing come rolling down the road? Can you imagine it just freaking bursting into flames and wondering why?
Hey, my truck's on fire.
Oh my God.
My air conditioning's on fire.
What is wrong with people? Come. Ugh. This truck hasn't been too bad for stuff like that yet. But this one, holy cow, there are wires and switches and, oh, you know, let's just take the bare wire here and we'll just wrap it around the back of the switch. Like, oh my God, I'm surprised this thing never caught fire. It probably should have. It really probably should have just burst into flames and we wouldn't be dealing with this. Okay, so we're starting to get these panels put back in. I'm working on the first one here. Got a few of the lower things hooked up already. And yeah, now it's pretty simple. These are all labeled, just plug them into the switches. And there's a few air lines that got to be hooked up. Got them all labeled over here. So we'll get that done, get her slapped in there and show you what it looks like. And just like that, we got our right-hand dash panel in. Got all the switches hooked up. All of these trigger wires for the temp gauges hooked up. All the air switches work. Well, I don't know if they work, but they're all set up properly. So yeah, I don't think it looks too bad. A little bit of imperfection here, but these will do for now. Okay, so as you know, we're starting to kind of put the interior back, putting the gauge clusters in, you know, some of the door panels, stuff like that. This is another part of that, is we have to get these go in the cab corners behind the seat on each side. It's a Canadian class interior, so it comes with the full sound package and the extra speakers down low kind of behind you here. So we're gonna get these cleaned up. I actually just went to the local car audio place. If you're in the Chatham-Kent area, it's called Tunstra's Car Tunes. They got everything you need. Speakers, head units, subs, they do installs, lighting, whatever, they have it. Really good guys to work with. Steve and Tristan over there, great. So I just popped over there, picked up some new speakers to go in here, speakers that go up in the headliner on each side, new head unit, and then a wiring kit for the subs and amp that I plan to install down the road when we get the bunk on and stuff like that. I thought while we had the cab apart, we'll put some of that stuff together. So I bought some of this a while back. It's all-purpose cleaner. Been using it a bit for some of this interior stuff. And what you do is you just spray it on there. Don't be shy. Really can't hurt any of this old stuff. Let her soak for a sec. Some corrosion down here. And just get yourself a rag and wipe some of this stuff off. And for some of those hard to reach places, grab yourself a little jib scrubber there. And just kind of, can't hurt this stuff. Just give her a good scrubbing. It should turn out looking a whole heck of a lot better than it did when we pulled it out. So I'll keep working on this and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. So there it is, kind of cleaned up. Looks a whole heck of a lot better. This grill, I cleaned it off. Doesn't look too bad, it's hard to tell. But there is a little bit of rust on it. While I got it out, I might just give it the old as Vice Grip Garage would say. And clean her up good here. So here's a cool little trick for you. We're working on that. You see that peg that holds the wiper arm there? It was a little damaged, so we kind of took the one out of this truck and one out of the parts truck and made a good one. And what you have to do is disconnect these arms. And how these work, one arm goes to the motor, the other one goes over to the other side, and that's what makes the wipers, you know, go. So they have these ball and sockets. You can see the ball on there, the end of my finger there. And this is the socket, and they fit into those arms. You have to, it is almost like you can pull them off when they're connected, but it's almost impossible to push that ball back into this socket when it's inside that metal piece. And I know this because I bought a whole new assembly for my other truck, and when trying to put it together, that gave me a problem. So these would not come out of the arms. I didn't want to rip everything out of the dash. I probably could have. It may have taken less time, but if you ever have that trouble, get yourself a 11/16 wrench and put it over the end. You can see, put it over the end, and that little cap fits right inside of it, and then the arm would be here and that would be inside the arm. Just take your pliers, press on the end of the cap and all the way across. Act like a puller or a press, so when you push it, it'll just pop inside here and pop out, and it comes out like butter. So now I can shove these back on the balls, shove the arms on, and the wiper assembly will be all buttoned up just like new again. There, and that's the finished product, and it's all done. So my light just died, but I basically got everything ready now. I can put the dash panels back in. That was the only piece I was waiting, we had to fix up. Okay, you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, but cleaning up this headliner, it's not too dirty. Like, it's dirty in these corners. And I'll show you what I've been using. What it's got is, it's got a lot of this. This isn't dirt per se, it's pilling, like it's fuzz coming off of the headliner. So went in the house and borrowed the old, this is meant for getting pilling and lint and stuff off your clothes. And you can see, oh, the lighting's kind of bad, but you can see here where it looks cleaner than here. And all that is because I've gone along and kind of shaved that pilling off that was sticking out. And it looked like this or worse before, and now it's starting to clean up. So it's going to be a long process, but you just kind of, you can hear it working. But you can see already where I took that black stuff like that off here. So just, it's going to take some time, but see already it's starting to clean up. So I'm gonna keep working at it, and I'll give you guys a progress report. Okay guys, a little update. Been working at it for a little bit elbow grease, but you can see I got a lot of the pilling off. I think now once I get the upholstery cleaner on there and start scrubbing it, that will clean up really nice. And just to tell the difference, that's this side after, you know, a few minutes of working with that thing. compared to that side over there. Look, see all that? That's what this side looked like. And actually, this side was the better side of the two right here. So yeah, a little bit in the center, and then we can start with the upholstery cleaner, start rubbing and scrubbing, and get that brought back to life. All right, little update. I'm pretty happy. Got 99% of that pilling off. Looks pretty dang clean, and that's without even cleaning it. That's just like giving it the Gillette Close Shave Chic 5 Blade Ultra Smooth Facial. Okay, enough of that. Anyways, looks really good. So I used some of this Simonized carpet and upholstery on this section here, and it's coming out really nice. It almost, I'm not gonna say it looks brand new, but dang, it looks good compared to what it looked like that, all dirty and stained, and even in all the corners and stuff. So we'll keep working at her. But man, I'm really happy. Like, this is the stuff that's really satisfying. It's really tedious, takes a long time, but at the end of the day, you'll be so happy you did stuff like this. I'm stoked. And when it's in that cab, you can look up every day when you're driving this thing and say, man, remember how shitty this truck looked and how nice it is now? So, dang. Took a little break from the headliner. Just cleaned this spot up too. This was just brown all the way around here, about the width of my finger all the way around. Got it cleaned up pretty nice. Yeah, she's really coming along. So the other night I went ahead and wired up that radio harness. Have it plugged in now. Looks factory, is factory. Here's my new antenna for AM FM radio. This is for the new receiver. Here's my RCAs for the sub out. I have my remote wire here. I've got all that stuff ran. I've got an extension off of the air pole for the air horns. We're gonna mount those under the truck now since they're not on the roof. We got that all shaved up. You can see everything nice other than these two wires, but everything nice and tidy inside. I got my CB power. I got my CB cable ran down the pillar, out, up the door jamb, door sill, and it can go out to the mirror. And then the antenna there is ran through the roof. It's just tucked in there now, but it's actually going to go through, and we're going to mount it up the top of the back of the bunk. So nice clean shaved roof on this truck. I'm going to run an antenna on each mirror, but we're only going to take signal off of this one on the passenger side. But coming along, I got these upholstery corners cleaned up. So they go in the corners here like so, looking brand new. Yeah, this stuff's really tedious, but it's really rewarding. So some of my favorite stuff is just sorting out the interior and the cabs on these trucks. So, and like I mentioned, got the windshield wiper done. So now I'm ready to put those two gauge panels back in, and we're gonna get the foam put back in, and then possibly if we get more done on the headliner, we can get the headliner put in. Okay guys, we're back. You're not gonna believe this, I'm really excited. I spent a little bit more time cleaning that headliner. So the process was, I just gotta show you. Look at that. I might have to go into business just cleaning old interiors. Holy cow, that is so rewarding. You saw just in the last few clips what this headliner looked like. Most people would have just junked it. But look at it now. That's what a little elbow grease will do, folks. So don't get discouraged if your interior's dirty. You can 90% of the time clean them up, because that was really bad. Here's the next piece I'm gonna work on. You can see, I'll show you the grime and dirt, the pilling. She's pretty nasty. But you guys have seen the process. Let's jump right to it. And just like that, we've done it again. Looking snazzy, looking fly, looking fresh. It's a bit wet still. There is a bit more pilling. We can get some of that off at the end. That's the beauty of that thing. It doesn't make a mess, so you just, with all the scrubbing and stuff I did on here to get a lot of that grime out, it was pretty soiled. So with all the scrubbing I did, it brought up a bit more pilling. So when I'm done here, I'll just, when it dries, I'll just buzz it off, and should be looking fresh and clean again. So took a break from upholstery for a bit. Decided to start putting all the factory insulation back in. Got the whole cab done, except for this inside corner. This is where the wires for the bunk need to hook up. So we're really starting to button this thing up. Nice sunset over the 386. Been working kind of late tonight, but we have made huge progress. We got the headliner in, got the front windshield part in, got the two side covers here that go on the inside of the pillars, got the pockets in, have the new head unit in, and we've just temporarily put the bottom cover panel in that the CB goes on. You can see it there. And I have the CB, we're gonna mount that all up nice, but I wanna wire it so the wires don't hang down and hook into those two posts there. I'm gonna wire it up to the inside so it looks a little cleaner, and then maybe use a nicer bracket and some better hardware. But yeah, looking good. I can't believe, look at that headliner. It looks brand spanking new. I got new 4x6 speakers for each side. I'll throw those in, and yeah, the headliner will basically be done for now. I plan to possibly upgrade these two lights someday, like in my other two trucks, but for now, looks great. So, lots of progress this past week and a half or 2 weeks. Well, on that note, it's been a long, I don't know, week and a half, almost 2 weeks since the last video. We got lots done, really happy with the progress. All this stuff takes a lot of time, but I think in the end, as you can see, it's well worth it. So again, as always, thanks so much for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button. Give me a thumbs up, all that nice stuff. It really means a lot. We got a wild Todd in his natural habitat. Well, close out the video, Todd.
Jeez. You know what I always say? If you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.